This judge is running for re-election with the help of $40,000 in gifts from lawyers. Last year, lawyers gave this judge's campaign more than $50,000. 2 years ago, the campaign of this judge took almost $140,000 from lawyers. Under New York court rules, judges are not allowed to accept gifts from lawyers or litigants. But there is a loophole, and the rules allow a judge's election campaign to legally take thousands of dollars from those who appear in court. Target.mov examined the campaign records of state Supreme Court races on Long Island. We found that judges get most of their campaign money from lawyers and law firms.
Lawyers are not contributing to judicial campaigns out of the goodness of their heart.
Gary Brown is executive director of the Fund for Modern Courts, a nonprofit watchdog group.
How can we tell whether or not judges are influenced by campaign gifts?
We may not be able to prove that they're influenced, but we certainly can't prove that they're not influenced. And the fact that we have to wonder whether or not they are is the root of the problem.
Robert Roberto Jr. of Nassau County is running for re-election to the Supreme Court. Through September, his campaign has raised more money than any of the other 18 candidates competing for 9 judgeships. Target.mov used computer databases of lawyers and court dockets to take a closer look at those gifts. Roberto's campaign has received $43,000 in total contributions. $40,000 came from lawyers and law firms, 93% of the judge's campaign cash. Many contributors have pleaded cases before Roberto. During the past 4 years, those lawyers have represented clients in 120 civil cases before the judge, nearly 1 in every 7 civil cases assigned to Roberto. Roberto's biggest campaign gift came from Morton Sir Tillman and his law partners. Together, they contributed $5,000 to the judge. According to computer records, the firm of Sir Tillman, Balin, Adler, and Hyman has represented clients before Roberto in more than 20 cases during the past 15 years. The firm refused an on-camera interview. Off-camera, one partner said Roberto is, quote, a good friend, end quote, but denied the firm was trying to gain favor through contributions. Roberto also refused to be interviewed on camera. Off-camera, the judge said he does not know who his contributors are or how much they gave. Court rules forbid judges from a direct involvement in raising campaign cash, but judges can appoint campaign committees to solicit that money. The campaign committees send out invitations like these to lawyers. For a donation, they can greet the judge at a cocktail party.
I think it is a false assumption that judges don't know who their contributors are. I think for the most part they do. They attend their own fundraisers and they're part of the political system, and they certainly know who the players in that system are.
In fact, judges often pick lawyers to run their campaign committees. In 1995, Supreme Court Judge Robert Doyle of Suffolk County ran for re-election. He won with the help of a campaign committee that included 97 lawyers. The names were listed on Doyle's campaign stationery. Doyle's campaign raised $142,000. Lawyers and law firms contributed $138,000, 97%. Doyle refused to be interviewed. He said it would be inappropriate to comment. Among the winners in last year's Supreme Court race on Long Island, Judge Daniel Luciano ranked first in campaign gifts. Luciano's re-election committee raised $66,000. Lawyers and law firms contributed $51,000, 77%. Luciano refused to comment or consent to an interview. In fact, of those we contacted, very few members of the legal community were willing to speak out. They would not publicly comment on a system that allows lawyers to give thousands of dollars in campaign gifts to judges.
I believe it has gotten out of hand.
Nassau County District Judge Samuel Levine was one of the few willing to speak on the record. He says his campaign for Supreme Court will not accept money from lawyers.
Conflict of interest, favors, friendships through fundraising, I believe has no place in our court system.
Mark Lagerquist, News 12, Long Island.